We are in a very dark moment, but I am heartened to see the response of the VTA family coming together to help their coworkers.
A light rail yard, the scene of the country's latest mass shooting. How many were killed and what we know about the gunman and a possible motive.
Plus, the court battle in the case of a little boy suspended from school. What one parish school board is requesting before witnesses are called.
I'm Sally Kidd in Washington. President Biden directs the intelligence agencies to step up their investigation into the origins of COVID-19 and report back in 90 days.
Live, local, late breaking. This is WDSU News at 4.
We're so sorry this event happened. We are there for you. VTA is in the process of getting grief counselors in place to help them. As I said, VTA is a family. People in the organization know everyone. This is a terrible tragedy, and we will do everything we can to help people get through this.
Grief, shock, and utter disbelief across the U.S. this afternoon. Police in California responding to another mass shooting at a San Jose, California rail yard. 8
people are dead, also killed the gunman. Law enforcement sources identify that suspect as Sam Cassidy. Right now, a bomb squad is at the scene looking for any explosive devices the shooter may have left behind.
Correspondent Daryl Forges is in San Jose with the very latest this afternoon.
This is a horrific day for our city.
Shortly after 6:30 a.m., a gunman opened fire at a public transit maintenance yard in San Jose, California.
While the shots are still being fired, our teams with San Jose PD are entering the building.
We formed multiple tactical teams that came into the building to extricate victims out.
The shooting suspect, an employee of the Valley Transportation Authority, among those killed.
And the biggest thing we want to ensure is public safety for our community out there. And right now, public safety is assured at this point.
The shooting forcing the transit authority to shut down rail service in the city for part of the day.
A terrible tragedy, significant loss of life, which is just horrible for our VTA family.
Families and friends of employees desperate for answers, gathering at the nearby Sheriff's County office where authorities established a reunification center.
People in the organization know everyone. This is a terrible tragedy, and we will do everything we can to help people get through this.
I'm Daryl Forges reporting.
And according to the National Gun Violence Archive, this is the 232nd mass shooting since the year started in 2021. The organization defines a mass shooting as an event with 4 or more victims. Today in San Jose, 8 people were killed. And please stay with WDSU and our mobile app for the latest on this deadly California shooting. We'll also have much more coming up in our next half hour.
I feel good and positive about today and how everything took place.
Opening arguments started today in a civil trial involving 9-year-old Kamari Harrison, pictured here. This is the Jefferson Parish student who was suspended from school over a BB gun spotted in his room during virtual learning. This is a story WDSU Investigates first told you about last September. Our Sherman DeSalle joins us live at federal court this afternoon to break down what was heard during these opening arguments. Sherman.
Yes, this is a civil suit against the Jefferson Parish School Board. Attorneys representing them are requesting immunity for the superintendent and administration involved in this case, while the parents and the attorney for Kamari Harrison and Tommy Brown, another child involved in this case, they're requesting that the suspensions be removed from their record. But before the judge can go any further, they have a lot of questions for both sides.
At the 11th hour, they brought forward cases and new arguments and new law to try to establish that they have rights, but at the end of the day, they are a creature of the state.
In the Kamari Harrison case, federal judge Nanette Brown tells the school board's attorney a reasonable juror might question their decision to punish students and whether families knew the rules applied on campus extended to their own homes. Judge Brown asked the defense, would a student be dismissed if they were learning in the kitchen and a kitchen knife is seen on the screen? The school board attorney says that's not clear, and code of conduct shouldn't be excluded from virtual school. The school board's also countersuing the families and state over the Kamari Harrison Act. a law passed to make school systems write policies specifically for virtual school and to allow students to appeal certain discipline decisions made as early as March 2020. The Attorney General, also in attendance, says that request is an overreach.
The school board believes that they're like a person, that they're vested in all of the rights of an actual citizen, when they're not. They're actually, there's a reason they say they are a subdivision of the state.
The judge posed many questions for the family's attorney, asking for more facts to back up claims the school board was biased against the students because of media coverage. Until the next court appearance, Kamari's father is hoping for good results for his son, who's now on summer break.
The day is last day of school, and pretty much just not put this on his mind, just let it dwell on mine.
Now, for Attorney General Jeff Landry, this is a first for his office, the first time that they've intervened in a civil litigation during his administration. Now, as for the next court appearance, according to the Harrison and Brown's family attorney, it could be weeks until that happens again. Reporting from federal court, Sherman DeSell, WDSU News.
And WDSU was the first to tell you about this controversial case. Stay with us throughout the duration of this trial for the latest updates, all right now on our free WDSU mobile app.
All right, let's shift gears, talk about the weather. This is a live look outside beautiful downtown New Orleans and the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. Chief Meteorologist Margaret Orr live in the Weather Center. And Margaret, just another great May day.
I mean, it is beautiful. The average high today is 88, and so far that's our high temperature for the day. But I got to tell you, I think it's going to pop up a little bit. Looking outside, just gorgeous. Here is a look, 88 the high, the average 88, the low temperature 71, and that is the average. So, I'm all about the average right now because it's looking pretty good. 88 now, feeling like 93 because, well, it's that time of the year. The humidity is fairly high. 82 in Homa, not as hot there because a little bit more of a cloud deck. You've got a south wind at 11. Feeling like 88 because the humidity is even higher. Then into Hammond, it's 86. You've got a southeast wind at 9. Feeling like 89. So we can look at our temperatures, mid to the upper 80s, and look. In Bogalusa, it has indeed hit 90 degrees, feeling like 92, feeling like 92 at the airport. Also in Hammond, if you're sneezing and sniffling, everything is low. I've got to tell you, the ligustrum is blooming, so if you have trouble with it, just be aware it's there.
State health officials say vaccinating more young people will be a key priority in helping to fight the coronavirus pandemic, and new guidelines from the CDC say that it's safe to vaccinate your children for the coronavirus at the same time that they get other routine immunization shots. It's something many families put off in 2020. WDSU's Morgan Lentis live outside Children's Hospital. Morgan, I know you spoke to a pediatrician. What did that doctor have to say about all of this?
Yeah, Travers, Dr. Hudson told me that it's never good to put off preventative care like those other immunizations that you just mentioned. On the COVID-19 vaccine front, he says he talked to 3 parents just today about it, and he says their children were ages 18, 16, and just 8 years old. Right now, Pfizer has the only vaccine approved for kids 12 and up, but state health officials think Moderna will be approved for the same age group in a month or 2. And now we know children can schedule an appointment to get the COVID vaccine and get other immunizations they might need at the same time. And Dr. Hudson says studies have proven it's safe to do that. Here's what he tells parents that ask if they should have their child vaccinated.
I like to phrase this in terms of what I would do for my own daughters, and I would like to vaccinate them as well, albeit they're only 8 and 9 at this point. I think they feel more comfortable. I think they're already leaning perhaps towards vaccinating if they're already asking those questions.
And so just yesterday, Governor John Bel Edwards says that those conversations between a physician and their patients are going to be critical as we try to boost vaccination numbers in the state. I'll have more on that coming up at 5. But for now, reporting live outside Children's Hospital, I'm Morgan Lentis, WDSU News.
Morgan, thank you. President Biden has asked the U.S. intelligence community to intensify its investigation into the origins of COVID-19. Republicans, including former President Trump, have been promoting the theory that the virus originated from an accident at a Chinese lab rather than emerging naturally. Sally Kidd is in Washington with all the details.
For months, the Biden administration dismissed the possibility of a lab accident as some kind of fringe theory, but now President Biden is saying it is one likely scenario. President Biden wants intelligence agencies to redouble their efforts to pin down the origins of the COVID-19 pandemic.
And we will continue to press China to participate in a full, transparent, evidence-based international investigation.
The intelligence community has agreed on two likely scenarios: that the virus emerged naturally from human contact with an infected animal, or that it was the result of an accident at a Wuhan lab.
No one knows, not even I, 100% at this point, which is the reason why we are in favor of further investigation.
Republicans have long been calling for an independent investigation into whether the virus was man-made.
Why did you dismiss the lab leak theory as credible?
I didn't dismiss anything. I just said it's a high likelihood that this is a natural occurrence.
The World Health Organization and China issued a joint report in March, calling the lab leak scenario extremely unlikely.
WHO needs to go back and try again after the first phase of their investigation really satisfied nobody. And this time we need a really expert-driven, no-holds-barred collection of information.
I think we should send a clear signal to China, seems to be a source of a lot of pandemics, that if this did occur in the lab, expect something to happen.
The president has asked the intelligence community to report back to him in 90 days. In Washington, I'm Sally Kidd.
Calls to come to a conclusion over the origins of the virus intensified after the Wall Street Journal reported 3 researchers at the Wuhan facility became severely ill in November of 2019.
When you look at cases across the World Health Organization says COVID-19 numbers are down 14% worldwide. It also says deaths are down as well, 2%. According to the WHO, the European region has the biggest drop. Despite all of this good news, the WHO says cases and deaths are still high in some countries. Here at home, if you need to find out where to get a vaccine, here's what you can do right now. Go ahead and take out your phone, open your camera, and point it at the QR code. When you do that, a link will pop up and it'll take you to a guide on WDSU.com.
The arts are really important for our self-expression and developing us into the adults that we will become.
Shining a light on the arts in North Shore schools, a look at their expressive creations and how much money their work could bring to the school.